It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity.
Hello, model citizens. Welcome to Humanity Junction. Tonight on Trains and Tech, we're going to talk about layout planning. All right, we're not going to really talk about layout planning. We're going to talk about how I planned and then did more planning and then planned a little bit more on my layout. And now that I'm going to build the layout, I'm finding out that I have to replan because things aren't quite working right. So it is what it is. It is how it goes. But, you know, you'd only plan so much, and then you gotta just sometimes throw it all away and start over. A lot went correctly. What's happening though is there is one specific thing that is not going right that just seems to be throwing everything off, and I haven't quite wrapped my head around it yet, so I figured it'd be a good thing to talk about. But before we get into that, I've got a couple of items off to my right that I thought we would open up and we can check out and see how that goes. And then with whatever time we have left after I unbox these items, then we can get into the planning process. But yeah, let's, can I answer, oh, here we go. Can I answer yes to both poll questions? So I specifically set up the poll tonight so that there were only two options. And the poll is, did you plan out your layout or did you wing it? So far, 67%, 39 votes, 67% said they planned it out. 33% said they made it up. I didn't give another option for a reason that I was very curious to see. How do you know what's in the box, Jerry? Now I'm really curious. Very curious. I did both at the same time. Well, and that kind of seems to be what I'm doing right now as well, is I'm planning it out and not planning it out at the exact same time. You know, funny. I was wondering if someone was going to notice that. I do actually have new glasses. These are the older ones. And these are the newer ones. I can't really see with either of them at this point because I'm getting used to the differences in them. And then I have these glasses as well, which are so these are just straight up readers. These are progressives that have a stronger reader ability to them, and then these are also progressives with a little bit of reader ability on them. So you might see me switching glasses, but I'm impressed. I'm very impressed that Bernard picked up on it so quickly. Andrew, Mr. Biktovic, contributing to the Humanity Planning Fund. Speaking about things you can do to contribute if you want is... ah ha ha, funny, funny, I see you. Safety goggles. These are not, I mean, they're not any more safety lenses than any regular glasses are. But what was I about to say? I was about to go into a whole thing, and then I saw. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. Speaking about planning, so, and this is kind of funny. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to show this, but this is actually a new shirt. If you go down into, well, YouTube shopping or wherever you shop for your stuff, this was the planned layout. It actually shows down here. You probably can't see it. It shows the version number, so that when we get to version like whatever, these will be like original shirts. But I made these up so if people want to contribute to help kind of support the layout. Oh, and they've got the other logo on the back. So anyway, enough of that. Let's let me turn this light on over here, and let's see. There we go. Overhead camera. So I actually have two boxes. I don't know if I mentioned that. I got the one on the left and the one on the right. I'm digging the blue behind me. So the lighting, I'm playing with the lighting. I just installed these floodlights. I just installed. They're these Govee outdoor LED floodlights, and they do a nice job of lighting things up. They're RGB, and then I still have that light strip on that's underneath as well. So I like the lighting. The problem is, as you can see, I don't really have any video lighting set up. So I'm still working on that. They don't get hot. They are very, well, okay, I lied a little bit. They are slightly warm to the touch, but they do not get hot like, incandescent lightings or anything like that. I can actually, if you buy this shirt, you can buy updated versions each time. But I can show you the lighting real quick. Let's see if I do this, and, oh, I don't know, oh, this might not work. I haven't set it up yet to do all this stuff or whatnot, but did it change? Yeah, so this is kind of the white. So these are still on blue, but that's like the white-ish, but it's not really white. If I turn it there, it probably looks a little better white. But then it does your usual, red and blue and all kinds of stuff. Anyway, enough of that. Enough playing around with the lighting. Let's get back to, yeah. So the version, oh, that's the wrong camera. That's the camera. The version number on the shirt, I don't know if we can see it in this camera or not, but it's version 117. And the reason it's version 117 is because that's the version in AnyRail that I'm up to. So, yeah, I didn't go with Philips Hue because they're a lot more expensive. So that's why I didn't go with that. You're probably seeing red on the side of my face because the computer monitor is on this side. So you're probably getting some brightness off of that. I need to work on adjusting the, if I buy that shirt for my wife, the layout will have some hills on it. I need to do some adjusting of this camera. This setup is new tonight. The camera is the same camera from last time, but I now have a monitor hanging up here, which I did not have last week. And I do have a light there that's new. A bunch of these, there's a lot of new stuff, so it's I'm kind of winging it. Okay, so let's open the packages. I'm going to start with the little one just because. So the little one came all the way from California. It came from a gentleman named Seth Newman. Seth is very into control system stuff and has a company called, I think it's called Model Railroad Control Systems, if I'm not mistaken. He is the US dealer for a turnout motor that I wanted to use on my layout, and boxes. It's a turnout motor that I wanted to use on my boxes, on my layout. I have the turnout motor that I generally am going to use generally everywhere, but there are a couple of places where I need a very low profile turnout motor. So these are what I'm going to use most of the time. And these are similar in size to the, these are similar in size to a tortoise switch motor. One of the main advantages, though, that I like of these guys, I'm like trying to put the box back together in a way it doesn't go together. All right. One of the things I really like about these guys, though, is you can mount them in two different orientations. Boy, there's a lot of boxes tonight. So just like the tortoise motors, you can mount them, under the desk like this, and that, that's sort of the standard configuration, and it's got the little swing arm that does the swing arm thing. But you can also mount them in, it'd be easier here. You can also, so you can mount them like this, the standard way, but you can also mount them flat like this. So it makes them more low profile. So this way is 3.5 inches. This way is 2 inches. And this 2 inches, this flat 2 inches is why, I'm gonna have to turn the lights on. I didn't want to, okay. That 2 inches is why I have left the 2-inch gap here, is because it means any of these where the bench work is in the way, I've got a 2-inch gap where I can still mount this turnout motor anywhere I want, and it's gonna fit. You do need an adapter. It's a little wire, which camera's on? It's a little wire adapter that you need that helps make the little turn, but it's nice because it's low profile. But sometimes that is not low profile enough. And if that is not low profile enough, what I'm looking for is, they must be in here. Yeah, they're in the center. I was looking for where all the wires and stuff were. So if 2 inches is not low profile enough, Seth Newman at Model Railroad Control Systems. We can talk about these too. I also got these, the DCC pack, DCC flagman. There's the red ones and blue ones. They're little people that you can make that sit on your track and will tell you if your track has track power. But they have red and blue ones, so you could use them as flagmen if you're doing like timetable and train order, or you just need a flagman for, whatever. All right. So I haven't been looking at the chat, so you'll have to ask the questions in a second. But this switch motor here is the MP5 switch motor, and this switch motor is only 3/4 of an inch high. So this guy is 3.5 or 2 inches. This guy is 3/4 of an inch. This guy does have a decoder in it. This is the Cobalt Digital IP. So this one is DCC. This is not DCC, it's analog. It's essentially a servo. This little box goes back and forth. But this enables me to have a 3/4 inch switch motor. So over here on this section back here, there's actually going to be some like bridges and stuff. And right here and over here, there are turnouts that I want to have be as compact and thin as possible. So, 2 inches versus 3/4 of an inch thick, or even versus your average switch machine. So I got a couple of those to go just in my special thing. Yeah, yes. So you can get extension arms. The Cobalts make the extension arms as well. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure why, but after using the Cobalts and using a Cobalt and using the Smails on my time saver switching puzzle, I like the Cobalts better. So that's the way it is. He opened a box. I did open a box. Just tuning in, did I miss anything? Probably not as much as I missed. I use the Govee thermometers for keeping tab on my boat and shop temperatures. I have, it's not in here right now. I have a Govee heater. I have a couple other Govee things as well. One can do the same with a tortoise, I think, but the tortoise can be remoted, but it doesn't have the mounting tabs to mount it in this direction. So you can take a tortoise motor, mount it like this, and run the wires off somewhere else, but you can't just mount it right under the switch. But yeah, you do need to mount it the narrow way. You do need a little adapter thing as well. But it's all depends what you want. Yeah, my turnout motor is my left index finger. I have that as well. I am using, the reason I'm motorizing everything is just because I want to. There's not a lot of other need to do it. It's just that, I like it. Yeah, boxes. I'm still on version 1. What's 2 hours? How long it's going to take me to open the boxes? My turnout motors don't take up any space on my layout. They don't, but you have to then touch your layout constantly. I on Riverside Tranfer version 1.0, I didn't have any switch motors, so I did have to touch everything on the layout as well. And what I found the problem is that I would want to set like a route, and when you have just hand thrown stuff, you couldn't really set a route. And sometimes in my old layout, because I had the peninsula, there would be a turnout on one side of the peninsula and a turnout on the other side of the peninsula that I had to throw. So I just decided on this layout that I was going to do turnout motors, and it was just going to be just what I was going to want to do. Somebody was asking somewhere, where did they say? I want a Box 1.0 shirt. I should make those up. We're all missing something. Wi-Fi. What are you talking about? Oh, here we go. Why not servers? Servos. Dave asked that. So the reason I like having a box with the DCC decoder built into it is that if I ever have a problem with the DCC decoder, it only affects one turnout. It doesn't affect a bunch of them. The other thing that I like about this is that it's got all of the switches and everything built in, the frog wires, the switches, the push button, and everything is built right out right into this turnout motor. I don't need a separate board to control these. So like for these MP5s, they've got the switch contacts, but to control these, they're DC only. So to make them DCC or LCC or any of that kind of stuff, you need to have another board or another device. Whereas this, it's all built into one. If I need to replace this, I just replace this. And I don't know. Servos, you got to have mounts for them. Whatever, you know. This is essentially just a servo built into a box. Oh, so the other thing about these, which is true about servos, is the reason why these are IP, or these are their intelligent series, is when they reach the end of the motion, they stop drawing power. So like a tortoise continues to draw power the whole time because it's a stall motor. These only draw power when they're moving, and then they stop drawing power. So it's kind of a whole thing. All of my turnouts are Caboose Industry ground throws. I like the Caboose Industry ground throws. I actually met the guy at Amherst last year. Really nice guy. Highly recommend the ground throws. I do really like them. They have a version where you could hook up frog wires and everything, so I really like it. Andy, 100%. If you notice behind me, there's no track laid, but there is a track plan laying on the benchwork. So I'm planning to install all of the turnout motors with the benchwork upside down, do a lot of the feeder wiring, a lot of the bulk of the wiring, turnout motors, drilling holes, a lot of that stuff I'm going to do before laying the track, just with the paper track plan. The problem I'm having is some things aren't quite lining up, but we'll talk about that in a second. I do have that other box that I want to open up. You definitely need non-derailing turnouts. What is a non-derailing turnouts? Yep, and that's it. Is I want the ability. I don't plan on having a lot of operators, so I want the ability for an operator over here or wherever to kind of say, okay, I need to take a train out of staging, and I want to run that train all the way over to here, and they'll just be able to go and hit a button, and it'll do all the turnouts and whatever. Or the dispatcher, which is who knows where, will be able to, change all the turnouts from where they are. So, yeah, the smells do have the built-in decoders. The smells are decent as well. There's certain features of these that I like, but the smells are nice. The smells have the push button entry or push button contacts as well, which is really pretty cool. Jerry says the other box is better. Jerry, how do you know what's in the other box? I'm very confused. I like the idea of putting your shirt over your head to see the track plan. Very creative. Yeah, if I ever get confused, I can just look down and I need to require that all operators. Oh, actually, for operators, I'll make a shirt where the track plan is on the back. So if you ever need to know where you are on the layout, you just need to look at the back of the other operator in the room with you, and then I told you I have connections. Lol, that's funny. Are you guys ganging up on me? What's going on? I have not tried Walthers, so I don't know how well they work. What's nice about the Walthers is the whole built-in LED stuff with the ribbon cables, so they're a little bit easier to wire up for certain applications. There's certain things that I don't like about the Walther stuff. One of the things, some people have talked about this, but open circuit boards, open circuits in general, aren't the best thing in the world. and the Walther switch machines, the electronics are essentially all exposed, as opposed to like these and the Smales and everything where they're all enclosed. So there's a couple different things. The Walther's ones are okay. So the Smale, what a Smale is a tortoise with a NCE DCC decoder in it. And yes, mini prints, there's another box right here. Automatically throws a turnout. What was the question? Automatically throws a turnout so a car engine will not derail if the turnout is in the wrong direction. Might just be an O gauge thing. Oh, you can set that up with logic in here. I don't know. That's only if you're coming. Oh, I don't know. That's only if you're coming from the one side though, right? I mean, if you're coming from the other side, it can't do it. Could always cover the Walthers with Kapton tape. That is true. That is true. Yeah, James is using the Walther switch machine. So if you want to check out what he's doing with them, you can check it out. James is also building his layout in kind of the same time I'm building my layout. So we've been chatting a bunch. We are building our layouts very, very differently, which is partly what I find so interesting is we're conversing back and forth and, you know, things are working out for both of us, but it's just different. So I think that's neat. Did you ever notice that whatever company makes switch motors, all of them price them the same? I did notice they're all around the $18 dollar mark. So yeah. Yeah, it is kind of interesting how they're all very, very similarly priced. These Cobalts, they come in 6 packs and 12 packs, and if you buy bigger packs, they are cheaper. I bought these from Iron Planet Hobbies, so I used the discount. So, you know, the discount worked out pretty well. Oh, I didn't realize the Frog Juicer had a way to throw the turnout as well. That's interesting. Thomas Grassi says, I have a few of my turnouts set up for no derailments. I use the Azatrack boards with sensors, and they work in both directions. There you go. That is definitely a solution. There might still be teething problems, but the crucial, most difficult to retrofit and work on are sorted right from the start, then test. Yeah, Riverside Tranfer version 1.0, I thought I wasn't going to want switch motors. I didn't plan for them. I didn't drill any holes or do any prep work for them. And then once I laid the track, I realized that I really wanted them in certain areas. And at that point, it would have been a nightmare to put them in. So whether a piece of track is going to have its own block, whether it's going to have its own detection, whether the turnout is going to have a switch motor or not, I am going to drill and wire for all of it now while I can, and then go from there. I didn't get a double discount, but I did use the code HUMAN and got the discount as well. Yeah, Fred's got a good project going on as well. Drilling's a great idea. Yeah, you know, I felt like such I felt so dumb that I didn't like at least drill the holes. It just didn't work out. But let me take a moment. I mentioned Iron Planet Hobbies. I do need to thank all the people that support the channel. When we come back, I will open this other mystery box from another mystery person, and we'll take a look at that, and then we'll talk about how my planning didn't work out.
It's all about humanity. About humanity. About It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity.
So Ralph's asking, do you solder all your jointers? Don't solder your turnouts and make the sliders just in case. What I did on the last layout, which is probably what I'm going to do again on this one, is little short pieces I would solder, but any of the longer pieces, I just put feeder wires on them. What I have found is in this room in particular, and it's why I painted everything, is that in the winter it gets very dry, in the summer it can get very humid. And when I did the HO scale track that I used to have, it actually buckled because I didn't leave enough of a gap in the track. So what I will very likely do is not solder anything that I don't have to solder because I'm having a bad connection. Yeah, I'm hoping to share as much as I can and you know, share what I can, answer questions where I can as well. I don't know what's scaring you, Ray. Split Rack says my switch throws cost $285 each. If I'm not mistaken, you're just using the little manual switches? You're not using the Blue Point switches, are you? I don't know which ones you're using. Yeah, so the thing with using caulk, here's my, I guess, my question for people, and I'm very curious about it because, so I've seen people do tests. I've seen people do tests with track on wood, with track on foam, with track on cork. And they do these like sound tests of like the trains running and which one's quieter and all that. I have not seen, oh, the song. Sorry. Oh, double pull double through switches with brass wire. Yeah, that works too. I have never seen anybody do the same exact tests with cork, with foam, with wood after you've ballasted the track. Whether you use caulk to glue down your track, whether you use Elmer's glue, which is what I plan on using, is just white PVA glue, whatever you use to glue down your track, whatever you put it on, whether you put it on cork or whatever, once you ballast your track and once you spray it down and it gets nice and hard and all that good stuff, is there a difference between using cork or just putting it on wood or putting it on foam? Because doesn't the act of ballasting the track defeat all of the benefits of cork and all that kind of stuff? Interestingly, as you mentioned Ballast Magic, that's actually probably what I'm going to use. I was very impressed with it at Amherst, and I bought a little bit of it to try out. And I think that's probably what I'm gonna do. Yeah, so Ralph, I get that, but once I ballast it, if I'm gonna ballast my track, right? I mean, I'm gonna at least take that step. But if I ballast it, it defeats the whole purpose. At least that's my thought experiment. I haven't done the test. If somebody's done the test, I'd love to see a video of it. But you know, I don't know. I just don't know. There you go. Yeah, so Woodland Scenics ballast versus Arizona mid-roll, would they sound different? Depends on how loud you have the sound on your locos. Wished I used foam board just to make such things easier. My layout's not going to have a lot of trees on it. It is mostly an urban scene. There are some areas with trees, but I have some ideas as to how I'm going to do that. So I'm not going to... Oh, interesting. Ballast Magic works with base scenery too. Oh, cool. I didn't know that. Yeah, so if I don't use road bed, it's going to be louder running trains. Yes, if I had a continuous loop, and if I was going to run trains in a circle, then I would be more worried about the sound the train makes for as I, run it around. But the layout's going to be for operations. So in my mind, the flatter, the smoother, the least amount of obstacles to having bulletproof track work is more important than any benefit of using soft materials like cork or foam or any of that kind of stuff. I'm actually not planning on using any road bed. My layout's essentially a branch line. So my theory is that it's, well, this as well. My theory is that, well, I don't remember what I was saying. Oh, and someone's saying there are trees. There are a lot of trees in New York. There are many, many trees in New York. Right outside my window, there are many, many trees. It's just the area that I'm modeling. Certain parts of it will have trees, like, I don't know if you can see. This part here is going to have trees. The staging area is actually going to have a row of trees. There's going to be some trees along the back here, but the rest of it, for the most part, are going to be like background flats and stuff like that. Grandpa Rail says, I found it's louder once you ballast. And yeah, and that's my theory. That's my theory. So I don't... Wow, you used Homosote? You are a brave man. Well, and here you go, right? Trains are noisy in real life. To me, and my model railway is on 25mm installation on ply ballasted. I can't read fast enough. I only hear the wheels click and clack with the sound of it. Yeah, I mean, again. Yeah, and there you go. The slower you run the train, the less noise. You should be good. Exactly. Just to see it again. Oops, this one, right? I mean, this is the whole layout. The trains aren't going to be moving very fast. The train goes from there to there, and that's it. So, the sound, I'm just not as really worried about. So the reason I say brave theory is Homosote is low density fiberboard, right? So it's a wood made up of a bunch of fibers that are not compressed, not compressed a lot. So it's Homosote tends to be very susceptible to like humidity changes and stuff like that. If you paint it and stuff, you're probably going to be in much better shape, but yeah, Drew, exactly, Drew. Exactly. So funny you say that, Paul. I am definitely going to get my hands on 3 of them, I think. I don't think I'm going to put one in that corner, but I think I'm going to have one in that corner. And I think over here, there are 2 tracks. There's a main line and there's a main line and a yard lead. And I think I'm going to put squealers on both of those over there and put a squealer in that corner. So I'm excited about that. I don't know, do they make a hot box reefer? They make reefers. Athearn makes a reefer with sound, like generator sounds, but not the hot box sayings. So they say Homosote is waterproof? I've never heard that. Yeah, so it's going to be glued down, ballasted, and then yeah, it should be. What is a squealer? So Iowa Scaled Engineering, a company that I have a lot of affection for. They're the company that makes the Motorman. They also make the Proto Throttle. They have a sound module that they call the Sound Bite. And it's a small little, but it's a nice little sound module. What they did is they took their technology of their sensors and they took their sound module and they figured out how to sense the movement of a train as it goes around a corner. Well, I guess it doesn't need to go around a corner, but it senses the movement of a train or whether the train stopped or how fast it's going. And that little sound things makes a squealing sound like the wheel flanges of the train going around the corner. I checked earlier today, they have 24 in stock. They ran out very quickly. They sold them at various shows. But yeah, so it's something that I want to check out. Isn't there a famous layout? I don't know the answer. No swelling issues here. Yeah, it probably does get humid, but did you paint it? I would assume you're going to paint the ground cover area, so yes, mine is painted. Yeah, so, right. Homosode is paper. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I do run a dehumidifier. And when I say run, it's actually, it's not plugged into anything right now. Because I'm doing the work in here, it's not plugged in, but yes, I always have a dehumidifier running in here as well. I don't know. I don't think it does. It's not brake application squealing. I believe it's more all about going around corners squealing as well. A little tip, don't push your track down with weights, lay it, glue it, and then ballast. The ballast will take up the dips. I am laying everything right on the plywood, so I hopefully will not have any dips. Lokesound has flange squeal on their decoders only on the locomotives. If you have, thanks for posting the link, Cameron. If you have a 50-car train, let's say, going around the corner, the decoder that's in the locomotive only affects the one car, or I believe Lokesound and a couple other people also have decoders that would go in the boxcar, so you would only have this the sound coming out of the one sound car that you added, right? So let's say you have a 50-car train and you have 2 sound cars, you know, the other 48 wouldn't have sound. So the squealer basically kind of takes that up. Interviewing a TV dad tonight that isn't, oh geez. Squealing is annoying on a video. Yeah, you need to adjust the volume. There's a really good, if you like Tom Scott just did a really good video on sound pressure called LUFS, L-U-F-S, and he talked about how it's not the volume of sound, but the pressure of sound, and to make a low frequency sound the same volume as a high frequency sound, that you actually need to play the high frequency sound at a much lower volume to have it sound the same. Oh, that's the wrong one. Let's open this up before we run out of time and don't get to talk about planning at all. I am assuming I need to be very careful opening this, so I'm going to take a knife to it and get into it. Oh, Grandpa Rails, did you watch the Tom Scott video? I did. I found it very, very informative. Balancing audio levels is definitely something that I am going to spend some time doing, because I would like to have the sound of the locomotives, but not have them be so overpowering that it just completely takes over the layout. Let's try not to cut myself. Yeah, you gotta have a squeaky wheel. Wouldn't be a railroad without one, and I'll be damned if I can find which wagon it was. That's very true. Yeah, I like Tom Scott's doing some great videos, and he announced he's gonna stop. So there's that. If people were sort of wondering when I was talking about, I've got everything printed out 1-to-1. So that's how I'm gonna figure out where to drill for all the switch motors and all my feeders and all that good stuff. So that's kind of exciting. When I received this package, I was told that this package is live stream safe, which I was very amused by. Let's see. Oh, here we go. There we go. I did not know that this person had stickers already. Somerset and Rarity. Who knows whose this is? I would hope you could tell from the box size. It is probably not. From the box size, you can probably tell it is not an S-scale locomotive. The name of the channel that we're talking about is it's Tom Scott. So the channel name is just Tom Scott. Big channel, so it'll probably come up as well. I'll read the note afterwards because it'll give away what it is. Cameron, do you know what it is as well? Am I like the only person that doesn't know what it is? Wait, there are boxes. There are 2 boxes. If you missed the first box, you may have to go back and check it out. Originally I knew there was going to be 1 of them. I didn't know there was going to be 2 of them. So one of the things that I did is I created some decals. I worked with Bill up at, and I'm forgetting Bill's PDC.ca, I think it is. Yeah, there you go, PDC.ca. I worked with Bill up at yeah, anyway, to come up with some decals. And one of the things that is important to my layout is the car float area. I'm modeling the west side in New York City before the car floats before the car float operation was shut down. So I've got a car float on my layout. So what I wanted was to convert a caboose into kind of an either car, a reach car. Essentially use the house on the caboose as the crew quarters. And I found these Fox Valley model transfer cabooses. And I sent out some decals to a couple different people. And one of the people that I sent them to is the owner of the Somerset and Rarity layout. And if you have not seen his channel, go check this gentleman out. I'll just say it if nobody's guessed his name yet, have they? It's John2618. I call him RailServe John because his last layout was all RailServe. His new layout is Somerset and Rarity. But he does a fantastic job with painting and decaling his rolling stock, which is all HO scale. And he said, I think I want to try an N scale. So he tried. He tried an N scale and he said he'll never do it again. So this is a Fox Valley Models transfer caboose that is painted in the correct green color with the Riverside Tranfer logos on it. DB Tech, Somerset, New Jersey. And Cameron, thank you for posting the link. So it's really cool. So what his note said, I'm going to see if I can, let's see if this works today. I have this set up. I don't know if it's going to actually do it though. So we'll find out. Yeah, so what the note says that I thought was kind of funny is the note says, Heath, I hope these transfer caboose will fit in with your new operating layout and bring some motivation to continue the awesome work. I'm really looking forward to running some trains on it sometime soon. John has threatened to come to Amherst and then come visit me after Amherst. So I've got about 4 months to get the track down and running. He said, I completed number 101, which is this guy. I don't know if you can see in the camera or not, but it's 101. I completed number 101 and noticed a flaw that bothered me. So I added number 102. I left them unweathered, but will gladly weather them up for you if or when you are ready. So it sounds like I have 101 and 102, which is really cool. So my plan is that I am going to use these as my, either cars, dirty them up. So, the crew has somewhere to sit between switching jobs. I want to decal up a couple of switchers as well in Riverside Tranfer. I also made some decals for a 8-car set of box cars that I want to get done up in Riverside Tranfer. So the layout's going to have its own rolling stock, which I'm very excited about. I'm really, really excited to have kind of designed this stuff. And John is right. It's definitely motivation. Joey from Late Night Model Railroad also made me a boxcar that's really fantastic. He's got loads in it as well. He's also painted it the correct color, Cameron. I'm very excited. I love that. I love that the layout has. Oh, it's so cool. Oh, look at the little red light. I don't know. How did he must have applied that after he painted it. There's a little red jewel on either side. Oh, that's so cool. I don't remember what I was saying. Oh, but it's exciting to me that, I've created a sense, the whole sort of story for the layout, which does really motivate me. Heath, the poll was 60-40, but has gone down to 58-42. So people who got here late didn't plan. That is very funny. That is very funny. Andy, have a good nap. Angel green is not the correct color. Yeah, John, thank you. They are fantastic. They are tiny. The red, what is the little red light? How did you get that on there? That is tiny. I guess we'll have to wait for the fail to plan part of the show. Okay, so really quick. I don't know how quick it's going to be. The fail to plan part, and we got to turn all the lights on for this, which, wait, it isn't yet. No, it is not angel green. Yeah, John, I don't know if you did a video on it, but I would love to see how the details on it are really, really incredible. He completely took this apart, is my understanding, to paint these. But okay, so the planning part. Yeah, Fox Valley, they are very detailed transfer cabooses. This corner right here is kind of the corner that ties everything in together. Manhattanville's on this side. The Riverside yard is here. And for whatever reason, I'm having a really hard time with the radius in this corner. So I've done 2 different printouts on 3 different pieces of paper, and This, I believe, is like a 12 or a 13 radius. The one on the other one is a 14-inch or 14.25-inch radius. And neither of them are fitting quite right. So I did all of this planning, and now I'm glad I printed it out one-to-one, because it's enabling me to really see it and really like understand how things are going to lay out, how close things are to the edge of the layout, how close things are to the background flat. But I'm still, once I figure this corner out, everything else is just going to lay in place, right? I've got enough straight track between there and my staging yard to make up any issues. I've got enough of a curve in here to make up any issues here, but there's a lot of track and a lot of things that need to lay out correctly in this corner. So all the planning that I did, so talk about things that went well. I planned for this to be 102 inches from here to here, the benchwork, so inside the walls. It ended up being 102 inches. So theoretically, the first plan that I printed out should have perfectly laid out. But the problem is, this part of the wall here, this portion of the wall isn't square, so the layout actually comes in a little bit here. So this corner on paper isn't laying out right. So what I'm gonna need to do, yeah, exactly. And yeah, so I'm using Flex Track for everything, so that does and will make this easier. So what I'm gonna do is figure out this point here. So this point leads this way. There's a single track in the corner, right? So this should be easy to figure out. So I'm gonna lay out this point right here, which is one end of the curve. And I'm gonna lay out this point here, which is the other end of the curve. And then I'm gonna kind of figure out, I'm gonna make as smooth of a radius as possible in that corner once I've figured out this point and this point. But this corner is a piece, right? So I printed this corner out as its own piece. It didn't work out. I was trying to just kind of make it all. I was trying to just make it all work out. But it's just a little off. And as we talked about earlier, my plan is to drill all of the turnouts and everything before I lay the tracks so that I can flip everything over. So in order to know where all of the turnouts are going to be, I need to figure out this corner, because everything will spread out from there. So that's where I'm stuck. That's where I'm having issues. But it will be solved. It will be solved eventually. There's 45 turnout motors on the layout, so I don't suspect it'll take very long to lay it all out and to get everything kind of pre-wired. I do somewhere out there, I've got a drawing of kind of my wiring plan and stuff, so I have planned that out on paper as well. So I think I'm in good shape. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, I'm gonna, what I thought I was eventually gonna do first, I just need to, again, I need to lay out this point, we'll figure out the curve later. It didn't work out as I had hoped it would, but no, I knew the walls were not straight. It was just more a matter of, I wasn't sure. Oh, I just typed in the wrong thing again. I wasn't sure how I was going to account for the differences, but yeah. Second section is on tonight, so I am going to duck myself out of here and go visit them for a little bit. So thank you all for being here. If you have questions, post them in the comments below, send me a message, join my Discord, all of that good stuff. And hopefully by next week, I'll be installing some Turnout Motor. So from the city that never sleeps, farewell, model citizens.
It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity.